Hello, 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 and welcome to FlossTube number 5. I am Shiloh, better known online as Carisha Valendar, and we made it into the new year. We made it into the new decade. But first, before we start thinking too far ahead, let's look back at 2019. That's kind of when I started. The first part of the year, I was focused mostly on my business stitchings, which takes a lot of time. To be honest, I do a lot of conventions and stuff like that, so I make a lot of magnets, and it's just a lot. But it wasn't until I became part of the Magical Stitchings group over on Facebook, as well as creating a FlossTube channel, that I really started focusing not more, but you know, I guess more on my personal stitchings that I want to do for myself and for my friends and family. So that's really gotten my interest peaked in my giant whips box, which we'll have to do a dive into sometime, but not today, because that's way too much for me to deal with right now. Um, but I don't really know how many projects I actually finished last year. I know I finished 2 to 3 for art shows. I also did a couple for some friends and family. So I want to say anywhere between 3 and 5 finished projects, um, which isn't a lot by a lot of people's standards. But I'm prior to that, I don't know if like in 2018, I don't know if I had a finished project that was just for myself. So I'm going to call that a success. I stitched almost every day. I probably had a lull where I was in some low moments where I didn't do any stitching, which is fine. I don't have to stitch every day. My elbow and apparently my thumb prefer if I don't stitch every day, but it's a stress reliever for me. It's my creative outlet. Um, so it's not a necessity that I stitch every day, but it's nice too. I did manage to get one more finish at the end of 2019. I actually finished this one on Christmas Eve, and got it upside down here. This is Chalkboard Nativity by the Fuzzy Fox Designs. I just want to show you all that crazy, crazy backstitching detail. A lot of that is like in between the holes, as it were, which I did not realize going into this pattern. I thought it was going to be easy. Backstitching, for me, I don't mind backstitching that much, but also every single letter has backstitching in it as well. So this is done, focus. This is done on just a black piece of Aida I had lying around. It's probably 14 count, I want to say. And it's all done in B5200 because I have a big roll of that, except for the Nativity Star is done in the DMC Blanc Etoile. So it gets a little bit of shimmer because it's a special star. So I thought it needed a little bit of bling. So that was my finish, my last finish of 2019. I managed to get a little bit of stash. I don't tend to have this a lot of time, but I needed to get some fabric for some new starts that I'm going to start. So this one is a 32 count Lugana. See if I can get a good, yeah, there we go. This is Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. And it's really, I love how soft it is. I have not worked with Lugana very much. I think I have one other project that I've worked on Lugana. So this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. This is actually going to be for one of my seasonal sayings by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. So I have that. And the other ones that I got actually are a couple of new starts that I managed to start on. So this one, let's see if I can get a good, it's not shining up very great, but this is Hugs and Kisses by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is one of their Seasonal Sayings, and that is on 16 Count Whimsy by Picture This Plus. It's not showing up very well. Maybe if I do it back here. Maybe. It's a little more purple in real life, not on camera, I guess. Um, and I love how that one looks. I was going to do the light pink that I had done for the Christmas goodies, but a lot of the pinks and the lighter colors were getting lost on it. So I took a chance on this darker fabric, and I love how it's turning out. So I'm really excited to get that one finished so I can display it in February. So I got that one. I also got this. This one's not nearly as exciting fabric-wise, but I'm super excited about this pattern. This is just an 18 count navy. I don't remember which company it's from, but this is called Disney Mickey by L Cross Stitch over on Etsy. And all of these, this is going to have a ton of characters, and it's all going to be in the shape of a Mickey head, and there's going to be lots of little like magic swirls and stuff that I'm planning on doing. Make it smaller so I can. That I'm planning to do in the Etoile as well, just to give it a little bit of magic. I'm really liking how this one's going. I'm trying to do like a character a day, but it's a little difficult. But I love it. I'm having fun with it. And I'm hoping to get that one done by the end of the year, which is totally feasible as long as I keep chugging along. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that piece. And that was the other piece of fabric that I got. So not a super exciting one, but so that's kind of a little bit of my 2019. Moving on to 2020. Stitching goals. I am doing the Magical School of Stitching and Literature over on Facebook again. Last year they had a Harry Potter theme, and I was kind of into it for the first week or so, but then it was just hard finding ways to get all of the challenges to fit into my whips. So I think this year I'm doing it again. This theme is like Disney, like the Disney parks and stuff. I'm staying at the Wilderness Lodge, which I've never stayed at. I've never stayed at any of the Disney resorts. I've been to Disney World once in my whole life, which is a period of my life I prefer to forget. But yeah, it's fun. Some of the challenges right now, I mean, we just started January 1st, but right now they're pretty easy to fit in. It's like, hey, just get, 200 stitches done. Great. I can work on anything with that. Fit in 200 stitches, easy peasy. Of course, that might change further down, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to try to get the challenges to fit into my current whips. And I'm going to try not to start new whips unless I already have them planned, just to get them to fit into the challenges. So maybe some weeks I'm not going to be as active as others, but that's my goal, because it is encouraging it's encouraging to be on a team and see what other people are working on. And it's encouraging to yourself to be like, okay, I can get 100 stitches done in a week on this specific whip or something. So I'm really looking forward to it again. And if you'd like to check it out, it's the Magical School of Stitching and Literacy, I believe, over on Facebook. So they just have a little thing for you to fill out to figure out which lodge or resort that you're staying at. But yeah, super fun. I also want to find a better balance between my personal stitching and my business stitching. Right now I'm just focusing all on personal, which isn't super great because I know I need to get a lot of my inventory stocked back up. So I just need to find that balance, like maybe, 2 days of the week my stitching time is solely focused on my business. I also need to get my business website set up and running. That's a big goal of mine for this year as well. So I think, I know I've been doing a lot of personal stitchings through the holidays and stuff, but that's probably going to have to go down a little bit as the year goes on and I have other priorities. But just a better balance, I guess, is what I'm looking for. I'm also trying to get better organized this year with how I store my stitchings, how I keep track of what I'm stitching on, what the fabric choices are and all that jazz. Um, which I don't have any of those nifty project bags. I think that's a project for myself to figure out how to make those because I have a lot of fabric that would be awesome to use. I have some Doctor Who fabric. I think I have some Star Trek fabric. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how to make my own vinyl project bags. I know there's some, stuff here on YouTube as well as on Pinterest. So I'm not the greatest seamstress, but maybe it's something I can figure out. So I really want to get one of those. Also, one of my friends here on FlossTube, Heather, aka Link is my homeboy, talked in her most recent video of how she just uses a plain planner and writes down what she works on. I was like, hey, I received a planner for Christmas and some Santa thing that I had no plans for because I do everything on my Google Calendar. So I just have this planner that I am going to start using, just writing down what I work on every day and then writing down when I start new things. So thank you, Heather, for the idea. That's really awesome. And I'm going to get better about storing them. Currently I'm just kind of sticking them in Ziploc bags, which is fine, I think, for short term. But I really want to get some project bags and put pieces of paper in there, with the starting date as well as what fabric I'm stitching on. So, one big project that I would like to do this year, which is big, but is not huge, I guess, is stitch up all of the seasonal sayings, or at least one a month from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. They have a seasonal sayings collection, which is absolutely adorable. I love it. I have a great way, I think, if it works, of displaying them. So I've already started with November and December. November is Gobble Till You Wobble, which I believe I featured that on my first FlossTube video. And the other for December is Christmas Goodies, which again, I also featured. So those are done, but I have January through October of the ones that I would like to start. And I just showed you the one for February. I don't have the stuff for the one in January, but I'll get there. It just has a lot of embellishments on it and other stuff. And this isn't monthly as the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery says it. These are just ones that I want to do for these specific months. So I'm just going to cover those here real quick. And I'll put a picture up here showing what they're going to look like. So for January, I want to do Winter Wonderland. And it's cute. It's got a lot of embellishments though. It's got those buttons like the Starbucks, the little coffee cup and the snowflakes. And so I don't really have that right now. So that's something I'm going to have to stitch later. For February, in honor of Valentine's Day, I'm doing Hugs and Kisses, which I showed you earlier. I've started on. I want to try to stitch these about a month ahead of time. So here in January, I'm going to be doing February. In February, I'll be doing Marches and so on and so forth. March, which is going to be Luck and Clover, and that's what that Country Mocha Lugana is going to be used for. I wanted to do like this other green fabric, but the greens in the pattern were getting lost in it. I did kind of a floss toss, and so I went kind of with a more rustic looking fabric. All right, so April, I'm not sure about this one, but it's Stretch Those Legs, which is more Eastery feeling, which Easter sometimes happens in April, but sometimes it doesn't. So this one is going to probably float around a bit. May, I'm doing April Showers, which again, I might swap those because it's got the saying April showers bring May flowers. So I might switch April and May when I display them. But June is Summer Nights because June is kind of the beginning of summer. That's when I think about camping and all that other fun stuff. July, in honor of 4th of July here in America, I am doing Liberty's Lights. And it's really cool. They got an interesting way of displaying it, which I won't be doing, but um, I don't know, it's kind of cool. And August is berry picking. I don't typically think of berry picking in August, but August is still kind of summery, and I really liked this pattern, so I want to do this one. And once I get these stitched, they're not going to be in permanent frames or anything, so they're going to be really easy to swap out. So if I want berry picking in June, I can display it in June. It's up to me. But this is just kind of my initial thinking, at least. September is pumpkin spice, but they do have a really cute apple pie one that they came out with, I think, after I made this initial list. So I might have to switch between pumpkin spice and the apple pie one because that one's adorable and I love it. And I love apple pie. And October is Which Better Give Me My Candy. And I have the fabric for that one. I forgot to dig it out. But that is done on a cobweb linen. So it's got cobwebs on it and it looks really cool. And I bought that one and it only came in linen. And I was like, oh, I've never done linen, but I'm going to do it because this one looks absolutely amazing on this fabric. So I'm really looking forward to doing that one. And hopefully by doing some of these on the Lugana or the linen will help me count better on that because that's my problem is the counting. So that's the seasonal sayings that I'm planning on doing this year. I do have some new starts that I want to start and hopefully complete by the end of this year. The first one is kind of a companion piece to that Disney Mickey. It's called Disney Mickey by L Cross Stitch. And the other one is also called Disney Mickey as well. So I'm calling that one Disney Mickey Villains because instead of having like all the nice characters in the shape of Mickey's head, these are all the villains in the shape of Mickey's head. And I ordered some fabric for that one, but I'm going to dye it myself. What they initially showed it on the website is a light pink, but I'm like, that's not really a villain color in my eyes. And since I'm doing such a dark fabric for the characters, I kind of want to do a matching dark fabric for the villains. So I think I'm going to dye it a dark green. So hopefully it turns out. And my other one that I want to start is the Never Ending Story sampler. I love the Never Ending Story. I grew up watching that movie as a kid. I've read the book and loved the book. Some of the sequels kind of sucked, but and the sampler has a lot of the characters that aren't featured in the movies, kind of more on the books, like the Rainbow Lion and stuff. I don't think he was in any of the movies, but I'm really looking forward to this one, but it's massive. It's like, I think 390 stitches long. So I'm having difficulty finding fabric that is that big, but is not super expensive. I'm thinking confetti by Picture This Plus is really good, but that's still like 35 bucks. So I might try doing some ice dyeing fabric with kind of those similar colors. Because when I think of the background for it, it shows the sample is done on like this light purple, lilac, pinkish color. But when I think of the Never Ending Story, I think of the beginning credits where it's got the billowing smoke and those weird storm looking things and fantasy colors. So I'm going to try doing some ice dyeing in those pastel-y, cloudy colors, I think. That's my plan. Hopefully it turns out. I'm hoping it turns out. So those are my plans for new things here in 2020. So I do have a lot actually, started that I would like to finish for this year. So we're just going to do a little bit of a whip parade, my first whip parade, and showing you guys what I'm hoping to finish this year. Some of these are closer than others. But yeah, first I'm going to start with Stitch Your Own Adventures, or Adventure Letters from Hogwarts by Cunning Cross Stitch. And here. And Clue 1 has been released. I know you guys. I'm trying to get this light here. There we go. I'm going backwards and all over the place. Clue 1 was released January 1st. And as you can kind of see, these are hard to hold. I've started on the banner. It was a release of the banners of the houses. And I have always been placed in a Ravenclaw, so I'm starting on that. I haven't gotten too far because I was working on the Disney one a lot. Um, but really looking for it. It looks really cool. If you have not checked it out and you're a huge Harry Potter fan, go check out Cunning Cross Stitch over on Facebook. Or you can also do a Google search, look up his blog. That's where he's releasing everything. I'm super excited about this stitch along. I know I talk about it in every video, and I'm still super excited about it. So come join us. It's fun. Um, let's see. What else do I have next? I have a lot of cells now that I did not finish in the years that they were supposed to be finished. This first one is Happily Ever After by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I don't remember. I think this is something I dyed myself from the looks of it. I don't know. I don't know the count because this is what, 2 years old? So I'm actually really, really close to getting this one done. I know I have a lot of detail work. I decided to foolishly do some little sparkly stuff for the stars. And that was before the Etoile was released. And now I'm probably going to go back and finish some of those in Etoile because I don't like working with metallics. It's really obnoxious for me. So I just think I have a lot of back stitching. I guess I don't know. I don't know how much I have left on this. I've not looked at the pattern yet. So I should be able to get this one done pretty quick. This was my first stitch along that I did by them. So yeah, I had a good time. I mean, it took me a long time just because the colors were a lot more pastel than what I'm used to. I don't know. Like I kind of fell behind because I didn't find it as interesting anymore. My second stitch along that I failed on is also by the Pumpkin Stitchery. This was last year's. This is called Into the Jungle. Oops, upside down. Oops. Here we go. And this is on 16 count shale by Picture This Plus. And on this side, I'm off by one stitch somewhere. And let me see. Yeah, like on these two cans, it's for some reason one stitch wider. And I don't know why. And I'm just going to wing it. I'm just going to be like, yeah. I don't know where I went wrong. And I'm not going to frog or restart the whole thing because it's off by one stitch, one row, column, whatever. So I'm just going to make it work. Yeah, I'm going to look at it, maybe adapt it a little bit. So we're just going to make it work. Another stitch along that I failed to keep up on. This one is not a Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is The Haunted Mansion by the Tiny Modernist. And this one is done on 16 count Haunted by Picture This Plus. And try to get a good picture here. I'm going to have to lean back to get all it in. There we go. This is pretty big. But I'm getting kind of close. I mean, I really enjoy working on this one. It's just sometimes when it's not the holiday, like the Halloween season, I just don't feel like working on it. And that's really the only reason why. And then I get stuck doing other things. So I'm hoping to finish this one this year because I love it. I love how it looks. I love the fabric choice. I did change the moon. I saw someone else do a more realistic moon than the yellowish orangish moon that they gave you. And I was like, yes, that needs to happen. So now this next one is a very old piece. I have no idea when I started this. I have no idea what count this is on, or this is just a weird fabric because it feels very clothy. I don't know. I know nothing about this at all, except this is Super Mario Brothers 3 World 1-1. Oh, is my color different? Maybe it's just the fold. It looks like it's done on 18 count maybe. So it's nice and small. It looks like it's discolored. I don't know, maybe it's my light. Um, all I have left on it, I think, is just, well, it looks like I have some borders too. I pretty much just have this tan color, just fill it all in, and I think I have to go around, I think I have to do some white in these numbers, the stages. I have to do some white on that. So yeah, I think I just have the white and the fill-in left, and then I'll be done. So it's just one of those monotonous things that I just have to do while I'm working on watching TV or something. So I really want to get this one done, and maybe sometime down the future I might do some of the other worlds. I grew up playing Super Mario Brothers 3 was one of my favorites growing up. So, and I know Keisha over at the Pattern Queens also is working on hers. So if you have a Mario piece that you're working on, feel free to join and let me know in the comments. This next one I started last year before. This is called Cute Kitchen by Fuzzy Fox Designs, and I believe it's on it. Maybe it's an 18-16 count. This might be a 16 count. Oh, come on. Focus. So this is really cute. And my kitchen theme is red. So this is going to go well in my kitchen. Um, I have a lot of back stitching to do on it. I noticed one of the shelves isn't quite done. I don't think I have a lot of big stitching left to do on it though. So this one should, I feel like that's a lot of my projects is I just need like a couple more days work on them and they'll be done. But I get distracted by this project over here or that project over there and I don't finish the one that's right here. So we're almost done here. I started doing the Hello series right after my second daughter was born by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and I'm almost done with all of them. Some of these might actually be done, but I don't remember which ones, so I'm just going to cover all of them. The first one is Hello Spring, and this is stitched, I believe it's on Willow by Picture It Plus, and it's really, really cute. And I like the color choice. Didn't want to do it on white, and I tend not to choose any of the fabrics that they do the models on, but this one was really good. So I'm happy with my choice. Then there's Hello Summer. This one might actually be done, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. This is just on a 14 count navy. Don't know the brand. Obviously I still have to wash and iron and frame, but I love this. I love seeing, and again, one of those fabric choices that I'm happy with. Like, it's not fancy, but it works. It looks like a night sky. This is Hello Autumn. This one might also be done. This is just on, I think it's an oatmeal, also 14 count. So there's that one. And last but not least is Hello Winter. This was the last one I worked on, so it's not as done. But this is on 14 count Blue Blizzard Opalescent by Weichelt, however you pronounce it. There we go. And you can see the shiny, see all of that. So this is really cute, but this one obviously has a lot more work to be done on it. And one more, and you guys have seen this one before. This is the Nutcracker Parade. This was the Christmas salve that the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery did this year, or last year, I guess now. I didn't obviously finish it, but I did make pretty good progress. And this is done on 28 count cashel linen. Focus. This is done on 28 count cashel linen, the color Dwarf by Picture This Plus. And again, one of those subtle but nice touches. So there you have it. Those are the whips that I'm going to be working on here this year in 2020. Um, which was your favorite? Which one do you want to see done, I guess? Or are you most excited to see done? What are your whips? What are you hoping to get done this year? You know, stitching or any of your other crafts that you do. Let me know in the comments below. Um, I'm really looking forward to working on all of these. I'm really looking forward to having um, some finishes, getting some of these out of my whips. And I maybe, once I whittle down some of these, maybe I'll pull some of my whips out from my whips box and start on those. Because I know I have some in there that are also really super close to being done as well. Um, and they just need to be worked on. They just need some love. So, um, thank you guys so much for watching. Here's to hopefully a better year, or just a year, a good year. Let's just hope for a good year. Um, you know, I'm looking forward to making more videos for you guys, and yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell if you want some notifications knowing when I upload new videos. I try to upload a new video every Saturday morning-ish. So come back, and you know, if you want to hit that like button, if I gave you some sort of enjoyment, that'd be nice too. Every little bit helps out the channel, you know, just to get us not squashed down by the algorithm, the dreaded, dreaded algorithm. So that's going to be it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week.